4,
Anonymous hyena.
3,
Sorry.
2, and we are streaming live.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, or evening, or wherever it is you are currently. Welcome to the BoBCast podcast, episode number 5. We have a much smaller cast this time around. My name is Nick. Much tanner this time around. Actually spent time outside and had to work and do things, so that was exciting.
Why would you do that?
Sounds awful.
I mean, it was working, like, air shows, so I got to see, like, warplanes and stuff, so it was kind of cool, I guess. I don't know, whatever. I'm sitting here along with Tom, who's been the regular, and then new to the show this week, after finally getting off of having to work really crazy. Would that be, like, third shift? Or what is that, second?
Second shift.
Second shift, okay. So welcome, Connor, the BoBCast podcast. We'll introduce him, and you have a very nice intro plan, right, to tell us who you are.
Yeah. That's great.
Good man.
Well, I am Connor. I had to work in my internship from 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m., so that just ended. So now I can actually take part in the Band of Bros stuff, because I have not been able to do that now. But I am a student going to senior year in engineering, so I like to play video games on my computer.
So
How'd you get into PC gaming?
I got into PC gaming for pretty much the same reason as my brother, which is Ryan, if you guys don't know.
Yeah, right.
I believe he said it was because everyone else got PCs and you were bored. So I was like, yeah, I think it's time.
It's time.
And you had a bunch of leftover parts, so I pretty much just bought.
It's how the economy works. We're telling,
we've self-sustaining economy.
We've talked about it
It
before.
really is.
The problem is we're running out of people to join the economy, so we're starting to hit.
Yeah.
The only thing I ended up having to buy was, like, not from you, was
Probably a
CPU
and
like my case and keyboard and stuff, and a hard drive.
I can hit you up with a case, man. I got 2 laying around.
No, I don't need a case.
And pretty soon I'm going to have half of a water cooling system laying around as well. So.
No, I'm still rocking my rainbow fan case pretty well.
Oh yeah, this show your case is pretty sweet.
We can. I think.
Who else can we convince? We got to like think of new converts and
God,
get them over.
Oh no, I meant to bring this up with you. Choner is looking to build a PC.
All right,
Tyler
pass
just
it down.
built one. Tyler built one at the end of last semester, and Choner's saving up to build one now.
Sweet. So stuff down the road.
It works out.
Very cool. What kind of specs do you have in your computer? What's your all your hardware like?
I'm rocking a i7 2700K Sandy Bridge processor, 560 Ti graphics card. Let's see, I can just look inside of my computer. 600 watt power supply.
Do you have 8 gigs of RAM, I assume? Probably.
8 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I don't know like the speed though. It's DDR3, but
It's probably 1600.
I remember I couldn't get 1600.
So it's 1333.
I think that sounds right.
What
but I'm not
motherboard?
sure.
If you know what
It's
motherboard
your
you got?
it's your old mini like ATX or something.
Oh, dude, you gotta unleash the beast there, man. Just for the record, my old one, the reason I got rid of it was because I couldn't overclock on it. And you said you have a K processor in there,
I
so
know.
you gotta make it happen, man.
After I graduate and make some money, I'm
By
gonna
then,
upgrade.
you'll be getting
Weren't you
Broadwell.
just working?
How much? Like, weren't you getting paid? Like,
Weren't you working
money?
this entire summer?
Yeah,
weren't-
I know, but like
It wasn't like a slave internship.
I have
was it?
over $1,000 less to start the school year than I did last year, and last year I didn't work for the summer.
Such is PC gaming.
Yeah, so I couldn't afford to upgrade anything.
That's fair. Well, when I inevitably get Devil's Canyon and then get a new motherboard, we'll keep the train going.
Yeah, keep the
Okay.
system going.
I mean, I'm getting all new like fans for my computer right now, so I'm switching to all purple.
I will
I'm
never
really
get new
excited.
fans because mine are.
Yeah, dude, your rainbow fans are pretty sweet.
And so those are being passed down to my
Admittedly.
roommate, so that the cycle is slowly expanding
We have
elsewhere.
to just.
And
We're
I have,
people.
I think your Mark or Ryan's old Hyper 212 just in my bin that he might just start using too.
I think that's
'Cause
Ryan's.
I bought it
yeah.
off one of yours because I was going to install it on one of my computers, so I just have that. I realized I had that today actually because I was looking through all my stuff and I'm like, I have a Hyper 212, so I might
Yeah.
install it on my media PC. If not, I'll might hand it down to someone. So anyway, so on this BoBCast, we got some gaming news. We're looking at sort of the games that we're looking forward to down the road. Spoiler alert: there really aren't that many. There's usually the summer games drought. This year has been just particularly bad because not even anything really that interests me down the line. But we'll talk about some of the games that are coming out in the near future. Kind of the big story this week has been PC gaming downloads, the actual purchase of games. 92% of all PC games are downloaded and purchased through online distros. We're also going to talk about some other hardware and all that kind of fun stuff. So all of this and more on the 5th BoBCast podcast. With Connor, too. Connor's in there. He joined with a minute to go. Again, and welcome to the 5th BoBCast podcast. Bunch of crazy stuff we're going to be talking about very soon. Again, we mentioned Sean. He's doing science things in a foreign country. In
another country, we should add.
So yeah, he's respectable. We can respect him not being here. Kevin's not feeling well. Mark, I don't know where Mark is. And Ryan, I also don't know where they're at. But Connor's here, again, his first podcast appearance. So
that's what's really important.
Indeed, we welcome you. So we'll kind of just kick it off with kind of the bigger kind of gaming story this week. This comes from Kikaroo. 90% of PC games purchased are digital, and I started thinking about it, and I can't think of the last actual physical copy PC game I've purchased. I believe it was Halo 2 back in 2011 when I first got my computer. I have the only PC game that I can think of that I actually have a physical copy of would be DEF CON, Halo 1 and 2, and SimCity 4. Those are the only physical copies. I almost had Watch Dogs as a physical copy, but I did that digital through Steam instead. And I actually pre-ordered through Watch Dogs through GameStop because I wanted the poster. So I still got to keep the poster. But I mean,
you're just working the system at that point.
Yeah, what's the last physical copies you guys even have, Connor?
Call of Duty World at War. Bought it within the past 6 months.
I forgot. I did buy that Call of Duty, the Black Ops 1 on accident.
When you tried to buy Black Ops 2 and got one.
I have that. I guess I don't know if I count that because I've never played it.
That was a misbuy.
But I do have that. That was just last year.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, well, World at War, we all really wanted to play it, and it was $20 on Steam. We're like, that's not worth it. And then we've all found stuff that was like $10 or less on Amazon, like physical discs. So we're like, yep. Everyone in my apartment, all 4 of us bought Call of Duty World at War.
So it's done.
That's fair.
I played it for like 2 hours, maybe.
Well, that's also fair. I can't remember. We were trying to think before the cast, and I think the last game I bought physical was probably Battlefield 4, because I didn't want to give Origin my credit card details. And so
that's not surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, I feel like, the less, someone has said this to me before, and I believe it, the less you put your financial information out there, the better. But I just didn't want to have another digital distribution service to deal with. So I think I bought a physical disc for 4. I definitely bought 3 and went to the midnight launch for that. And then I bought Borderlands 2 physical. But
you bought a lot of physical.
I mean,
you're probably the most in the world at this point.
Yeah, I am actually that 8%. That is me. Those are the sales, all right there.
I bought Battlefield 3 physical because it was like $10 cheaper or something than Origin. And then when we got back and built my PC and went on Origin, it was cheaper. So I returned the physical copy of Battlefield 3.
Did you get it from Micro Center?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
That was when I was buying all my shit. I was just like, yep, might as well buy Battlefield.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, the thing is, once you, I don't like the way I would justify it is if it came with a collectible.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Some type of thing. Not necessarily a pre-order bonus, Nick, but Skyrim came with that sweet dragon statue thing. Obviously, it was $120, but you get the game with it, so it makes sense if you were going to get it to just get the game with it, and then you just have a physical copy. So,
because the actual physical copy of a game that I bought would be the Grand Theft Auto 5 on 360. That'd be the last actual physical game I bought. And I got the collector's edition because I knew they were very limited. And I'm in this tiny little town that I knew I'd be able to get one no problem. And so I sold the hat that came with it for like $55 on eBay.
Jesus.
And then,
Ridiculous.
so, I mean, I basically made money off. And then there was like the cash bag. It's like a banker's bag. I sold that.
Yeah.
I sold that for like 30. And then it comes with like a nice solid like metal case. It's really fancy.
Yeah, like a
But
steelbook.
It's pretty nice. I mean, I played it not. I mean, when it first came out, I played it a lot. I'd say I probably
Right.
got my money's worth out of it when it came out. But then I'm like, this just
All the money
looks-
that you made off of it.
I think this game just looks like shit. So I'm just not going to play this anymore on 360.
Yeah.
But it is coming out to PC, which is one of the games I'm looking forward to, which we'll get to in a little bit. So.
True. But
Um,
yeah, and I think it's just a sign of the times that we now have pretty much flawless digital distribution, like channels at this point. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, I have
Yeah.
3 installed on my computer right now. Uplay, Origin, and of course Steam. So
can you even buy games through Uplay? I guess that's a
I have to
stupid question.
use. I
I'm
have
sure
to
you
use
can.
it. Well, no, I have to use it to get Watch Dogs, which I got on Steam.
It's
You have
so
to-
annoying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is just goofy.
I know, like there are like they actually have to start like warning you now. It's like warning requires like third party
Required, yeah, yeah.
DRM. It's like thank you for at least giving me a heads up. At least I knew that. Going
Now I
into
know
it.
not to buy this game.
See, that's the other thing too. Like, I don't get physical copies too because like pre-ordering is not a thing I do anymore. Because pre-ordering is just dumb at this point
Right.
in time. It was the biggest mistake in this year would be buying Watch Dogs without looking at reviews first. Because that game,
Aren't they making
My
a Watch
God.
Dogs too? Didn't they?
I'm
announce
sure
that?
they're probably gonna. I
know
have a
the-
feeling that story is gonna come very much like Assassin's Creed, where it's gonna come out like every year, like a different. I have a feeling it's gonna become that.
That'll be garbage.
And like, I mean, not to drop some mad spoilerinos here, but I heard the ending for Watch Dogs basically is just like they expand the surveillance system that's supposedly just in Chicago to like everywhere.
Mhm.
So they basically just super hinted at there being a Watch Dogs too.
I'd be kind of interesting if they tied into what is that racing game? The Crew? Is that
The
the
Crew,
one?
yeah,
That's
well,
like the
that's-
nationwide one.
That looks pretty cool.
That they somehow like combine the two, either like make them
Well,
not necessarily
I
go
don't know if they're gonna
together,
combine
but
the stories,
but
but
more
like,
so like showing that it's possible to have like this
Yeah.
worldwide CTOS and
Oh,
like
that's
you
what
travel
people-
across the country or something. That'd
right
be
now that's
interesting.
what people were speculating, but we'll see.
That'd be kind of interesting. We'll see what actually comes of that. But yeah, that game would be kind of interesting to come out too. The Crew, it looks pretty good. Although that's a Uplay game, and I believe the beta was pretty shitty, from what I've heard. But I mean, it's a beta, so I can't judge it based on that. But whatever. One game though, I am really looking forward to. It's Cities Skylines. It's coming out. It's basically a game that's making fun of the terribleness that was SimCity. And it's gonna do this. Hold on, there it is. Basically,
Crocodile.
it's a game that's shut up. It's another simulator game. I'm a huge fan of simulators. Like SimCity 4 is probably like my second most played game in the world, and I love just playing simulators. I can just lose myself for hours in this. But one you can mod and share online. Well, more so modding, which is like huge. That's like shots fired at SimCity. Then playing offline, shots fired at PC. Or at SimCity, I mean. Because EA just got a hold of it, and they're like, yeah, we're going to chokehold you and make it our own product now. So that's something I'm really excited for. And also, like, what is it? No DRM, I think they said. None of that either. So overall, just awesome game I'm looking forward to. I don't think any of you guys really care about simulators that much.
I used to be pretty big
Nope.
into them. I was always more for the Civilization kind of games, I should say. Mostly because like it was basically a sim game, but then eventually you could just build a nuke and destroy other people. So
Ah, yeah.
it was like a sim game, but you could also just blow shit up.
hmm
Or you could go for like the economic victory. You were a weenie.
That's what I would do. Thought about building
Nah.
those cities and maintaining a self-sustaining.
I know.
That's
No, in
what
my
I thought.
formative years, I definitely was playing that game wrong. I would definitely like just only go for military victories. I was basically playing it as an RTS. I would
Okay.
just be like, let's just take over as much and then just fail when the person that had the luck to get built next to like all of the mines and water just have a submarine. I'm still trying to build like a foot soldier with a musket and I just get shit on.
Like, that's one of my favorite things with like Empire Earth. Like if you play at the computer world, like against computers, if you just keep upgrading, like just get all like
Yeah.
upgrades right away. I'm fighting like World War II like people. Like I'm fighting against like people that still like bow and
Right.
arrows. It's like
Yeah,
yes,
It's
I'm
just-
in the
oh,
nuclear age, motherfuckers.
I know, it's pretty great.
Empire Earth was probably another one of those games. That's honestly probably my third most played game I've ever played in my life. Number one, by the way, Halo 3. In case you're wondering, 'cause I hit 2 and 3. But
Not surprising.
another game coming
Speaking
out.
of Civ,
Go ahead.
though,
Yeah, go ahead.
it is now all 75% off on Steam for the weekend.
I know.
Really?
2K
Yeah,
bundle.
2K's got up to 80% off all of their games, pretty much.
Yep.
Well, then, I might be picking that up this weekend and playing that. I'm excited. Okay. How much is it then? Do you know? Have
Do
an
it.
idea?
Get it.
Civ-
The complete edition is $17.
Oh yeah, we're buying that. No question.
And people, you are witnessing Steam in action here.
This is why DRM sales have a stranglehold. It's because they can also put these sales on like ridiculously, and just
Well, yes.
And they also have all these games that other people won't buy. Like you can't buy in stores. Like Goat Simulator. Would anyone actually buy that in a store if they saw that? Like, no.
If I saw the box for that, I would just be like,
I would- yeah. And people, I guess, Minecraft, people buy the card. I don't know if that counts. Whatever. Anyway, other game we're looking forward to in the future, at least I am, Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh my god, why do you keep doing this? God dang it. Hold on. There it is. Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out. They announced it is coming for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Release date still undetermined, but this game looks really, really beautiful, and I can't wait for it personally. I know some of us have played like Grand Theft Auto 4 on PC together. I know at some
tried
point.
to.
We've tried to a few times. I think we actually
We did
successfully
eventually
did.
get it at least once.
I bought it and installed it and have never played it.
We should change that at some point.
It's
I like.
The thing is, I'm not even too upset about it.
It's
I
got
bought
a
it for,
good,
like,
it's got a good like
$2.
novelty value, especially when you add like the mods to it, and I can just go flying
Well,
across the
yeah.
map with like.
That's true.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying like it was such a pain in the ass to actually get to play together with each other.
Nick, so you have to sign in with the Rockstar Club, so you have to remember that password. Then
Yeah,
you have to
the
go
social
through
club.
Windows Live. You have to remember
Which
that
is just-
password.
Always a treat.
And Windows Live in
always a
general
treat.
is just nah.
So yeah, it was kind of a pain in the ass.
I won't mind Windows Live though if they release the Master Chief Collection on PC. I will gladly force myself to use games for Windows Live.
Nope.
For that.
I will get it and then set up a VPN, and we're only gonna LAN. That shit's going down because I refuse to use games for Windows Live. But whatever.
Good luck with that. Another game that we're looking forward to down the road. It's going to do it again. I just keep turning off. Hold on. Here we go. It just always does it.
Out
There.
the window.
Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I personally don't have any care for it. I liked Borderlands 1. I really couldn't get into Borderlands 2. But I know Tom, Connor, you guys have played it a lot.
Played a
Actually-
shitload of Borderlands too.
Yeah, so
I
I mean,
love Borderlands 2. It's my most
Yeah.
played game on Steam.
Yeah.
what about it
So-
that makes it so interesting? Like, why do you like it so much?
I
Have
just
any
couldn't
idea?
even tell you. I just
it's-
like that style game. I really like the art style.
Yeah,
And
the art
just
style's
the,
good. It's
I think
the
it's
humorous.
different, which is
FPS,
nice.
RPG kind of elements. I just like that. I just
Yeah.
like those type of games.
I mean, Borderlands kind of defines to a T, like, just the stringing you along for, like, pointless progression in games. I mean, that's kind of any RPG almost, but, like, I also just like FPSs as well, so kind of
Mhm.
merge them together. But, you know, you level up your character, you get better loot, it's just fun.
It is. It's all about the
That's
loot.
a loot.
really.
That's really the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but
I
again,
still have
it's not radically different from other RPGs necessarily. It's,
Yeah.
I guess it's obviously the best, I don't want to say best first person RPG because that, you got like Skyrim and stuff, but like, it's the best FPS, let's say, RPG
Yeah.
that I can think of anyway. So I really want the pre-sequel just because I think it'll be more of what Borderlands has to offer.
Mhm. I think
will
I
be
would.
buying it right away.
I'd probably enjoy 2 more if I got it when all of you guys did. Because I didn't get it until I
That's
got my
true.
670, which was like several months. Like it was only a few months after it came out. But by that point, like you guys were already way beyond, and I don't know. 'Cause
Do you have all the DLC?
I doubt it.
I do.
because you should get it. Because I still have not played through some of it, and we should just do that.
Yeah, I have one more DLC, those DLCs to go through, I think.
I could like do. I don't know. All I know is I played with my friend, like another friend, one night, and he just had this like, it was a hack where he would just like only drop legendary weaponry. so we would just kill like the most basic monsters and mobs, and just like get legendary guns. And so now I just have like a fully leveled character with all these legendaries.
That's kind of nice.
That sounds like a good time for me to just join you and just be like, just let you kill everything while I just follow you and rank up like crazy.
Yeah, basically that. If you just join, you'll just gain like levels on levels, just repeatedly.
So I played with you guys for like an hour, and I'm already like leveled like 12 or something. I know I was like, way beyond something already.
Right. So it makes sense. But anyway.
Okay. Moving on, continuing with the gaming trend, and a continual topic is always Ubisoft and how much they are not okay. But this time, guys, for real. This time's for real. They pledged to take PC gaming more seriously.
Of course.
So, in an interview, this is off Polygon, which I believe stole it from MCV. I don't know what MCV is. Not necessarily stole it, but attributed it to MCV. I'm not sure what MCV stands for.
Molecular and cellular biology. Boom.
That.
Okay. I take it. I'll just nod and say yes. The quote is, "We recognize the importance and needs of PC gamers and want to continue to improve how we create and support games for PC. We are committed to improving the optimization of our games for each platform on which they're released, including PC." So, if I can actually take their words, if their words are true, like, yippee, like, that's awesome. But all I will say, as I bring up a lot, cough Watch Dogs. A month later, they released a patch to fix it. Took them a month. It's good now. I played it for like 3 hours, and it was fun. But it took them an entire fucking month to release a patch for that game. To make it playable. God, I fucking hate Ubisoft.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I feel like they just kind of... Like, I don't plan
digging
on
themselves a hole.
Any Ubisoft games, basically, unless they're, like, amazing.
Like, Far Cry 4 is the only one I could see myself.
Dude, I don't even really... I'm definitely not getting it on launch.
Oh, I won't either.
I heard hear people say it's good, and hear people say it's not, like, broken. Not to say that it will be broken, necessarily, but, like, I'm not going to find out the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be a Steam sale game for me. If it's, like, 50% off, at one point, I'll be buying it.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get it eventually, but, like, I also just got Far Cry 2, so I'm going to work my way through that with mods. I'll let a day.
I mean, so far I think we're continuing with the trend of what we got so far. If you watch all of our BoBCast, the one things you can take away: Ubisoft is the devil. Don't pre-order games, and Steam sales are fantastic. I think that pretty much covers every BoBCast we've ever had. So
I think that covers pretty much every PC gamer you could talk to. But yes, basically.
The one thing you won't hear a lot of them say are good things about EA, though, and I'm actually okay. I'm not terribly against them lately. They've been doing some pretty good things, and now they are getting better at listening to EA or the people, their consumers. They're finally apparently listening to what we are asking for. And this is off GameSpot. This was in an interview with Games Industry International, and he claims that the publishers come up short in the past listening to gamers' requests, but going forward, as part of their new player-first objective for the publisher, he says the company is improving its dialogue with gamers everywhere. And I'm not gonna lie, I have seen it. Like, I think EA is actually, like, going up in the world. I mean, Origin, really? I hate Origin. And I wish they just didn't make their own thing. But, I mean, you have those free games every month, which is, that's something that only they do, which is awesome. And generally, they're, like, pretty decent games, too. They have their refund policy. So if you try the game, don't like it, you can get a refund for, I think it's 24 hours, which is awesome. That's a huge thing, especially in this world of shitty games. And I think, honestly, that probably came from the whole SimCity debacle, where people just couldn't play it for, like, a week or 2 weeks after the fact because the servers were so overrun. And I was able to get a refund, but a lot of people were trying and just couldn't. So it probably came from that. And also you can tell they're listening because they probably really forced Maxis to make the new SimCity, the old SimCity game, the most recent one that came out. They made that offline, so now you don't have to be online to play it, which is like something that everyone wants. If they make bigger maps, though, that game will actually be playable. If you just go to like the SimCity page, it's just people like bigger maps, bigger maps, bigger maps, because their maps are like tiny. But anyway, I mean they're trying to improve the gamer's experience, all that publicity, yada yada. But I mean, like I said, EA has been doing pretty well recently. I won't lie about that. They've been doing fairly well. And then they just released their subscription service.
Yeah.
I know you're going to comment with something, and you're going to come up with something. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. But
with
they
everything.
came out with the EA Access too, which is an Xbox One, which sounds too good to be true. We still don't know if there's anything bad about it.
And I do, but keep going.
Oh, I'm excited to hear this now. But yeah, they released EA Access, which is only Xbox One. It's a subscription service, $5 a month, $30 for a year, to get access to their whole vault of games. Not their whole vault, but whatever they add to the vault of games, which, again, sounds like a good idea. But apparently there's a twist. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, they've also managed to offer access to all their demos to games. So if you ever want to try an EA game before you play it, you have to pay them. So that's cool.
True. That's very true.
Do they limit access to the demo to EA Access members?
That's what I have heard. And so it's kind of like, basically now if you want to get any type of demo for EA games, you have to pay EA the entry fee. They're really, what they're just trying to do is add value to their service, which, I mean, again, as we kind of discussed, I don't remember what it was, 1 or 2 weeks ago, like, I think it does have value for certain people, but certainly not for everybody.
There's a lot of catches to it. We just don't
yeah,
know about
I guess
it.
that's
It's
the thing.
It's still really vague on
It's
a
like-
lot of things. Even though it's out now, we still don't know a lot of things about it.
And that's the thing. I know there's going to be some catch or multiple catches down the road, and so I'm so skeptical about it. And in general, I'm just skeptical of EA because they're always up to something.
I feel like there's a change of heart coming from them, though. I really do. I have faith in them.
Just
Recently,
don't at all.
they've been doing all right.
Not really.
For me
Well,
to say that, that's a lot. I think.
but what have they done? What have they even come out with recently?
Game wise, or
I mean, yeah, like what has had their hand? I think they've just fallen from the spotlight because they haven't really been doing things recently.
I mean, FIFA that's coming out very soon.
I mean, I guess,
the best-selling game in the world, which is coming to PC. I don't care, but Kevin knows.
No, I mean, okay, but you can expect the sports game mill at EA to just keep churning out new stuff. I mean, that's just kind of expected.
I mean, ironically, that was when we were doing the BoBCast coverage for EA, the press event. When we were talking over them, everyone was bitching about us talking over the sports.
Talking
segments.
over EA,
That was the only
yeah.
thing everyone complained about, even though they're whatever. Some guy actually started commenting yesterday. He was on every person that complained. He commented like, "Read the fucking text. Like this is a reaction video, you dumbass." I'm like, I don't know who you are, but you are awesome. Go
You anonymous YouTuber. I guess, yeah, we did watch that entire EA press briefing, and I cannot recall a single thing from it. I guess the FIFA thing, yeah, but
64 too.
That's the one that I was there for, right?
Yeah, the where you
so.
had
I
the
was
centipede.
distracted.
Yeah, but
I don't
SimCity
remember what else.
4 was like the only other game they really showed off that was huge. And they released a little bit of information about like an upcoming IP that they didn't really introduce.
Like Shadow something, was it?
Oh, and the first thing too. Well, because we didn't even get to watch it the first 15 minutes because it was just.
Because it was
down.
technical difficulties.
Not on our end. I was on their end.
Not enough
thankfully.
subscribers for their stream.
DLC was to get the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. God, I don't know. It just seems like they have had such shady business practices in the past that I don't think they're just going to give them up. But maybe.
I mean, it was
Maybe.
hard for me to buy premium for Battlefield 4. I only did it because everyone else did it. Like just doing a lemming off a cliff. That's what I just did.
Peer pressure is the best thing, though. So
That's true. It's the best motivation to do anything, actually.
it's 100% true.
I guess it's just that's a perfect example. I could see where they're just going to make premium or subscription. To me, in a perfect world, a lot of these bigger publishers, in their perfect world, every game would be subscription based.
Yeah,
Where,
I mean, SimCity
they-
or the new Sims is probably going to be a subscription base. It'll be like a
Yeah.
Sims 4 premium.
Yeah, and like I think it's just the way that they're moving. I mean, EA Access right there is straight up subscriptions, but like as long as they can ensure a steady revenue stream for you,
Ooh.
Jesus.
Sorry.
As long as they can ensure a steady revenue stream, like that's their perfect situation. So like they're just going to try and make as many things, and they realize that people don't want microtransactions in their game, so they're going to want to like just ask for it as a subscription fee. Basically, that's the way I see it. But I don't I obviously don't have games in hand to back it up, but I'm just saying when they announce EA Access for everything, and then when they announce that Origin is going to be the only place you can purchase EA games and need a subscription, I'll just come back to this video to the point where I say I told you so. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be wrong. I want to be wrong. I mean, that would be good, but whatever.
We'll see. Speaking of microtransactions, the new Ubisoft Assassin's Creed game is going to have microtransactions.
Of course.
And I'm sure everybody in the world was like, yay, that's exactly what we want,
A collective
Ubisoft.
sigh.
So, here, Ubisoft was quick to defend their use of microtransactions. We're saying, if we think it fits the gameplay or the brand itself, the core values, we're willing to take those risks. If not, then we're not going to make any compromises. So generally, if people are stupid enough to buy it, we're going to do it. It's kind of what that quote means.
Yeah.
It's not the first time microtransactions has been in Assassin's Creed game, though. There were microtransactions
I haven't played any of them
in AC3. So it's not the first time. It's happened before, but it's Ubisoft. So microtransactions for a $60 game. Like, no, Ubisoft, stop.
What were they? Because I haven't played any ACs since the first one.
I'm not really sure, but the whole claim with the Unity's microtransactions is that it basically allows you to fast track gameplay. So basically, in order to skip the redundant, shitty gameplay, you can just pay more money to get to the end faster.
Oh my god, that's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. They should have done that. See, honestly, to me though, this is again, like I said, I only played the first one, but like this is 4, 5, 7, however many games they've had too late. Because in the first one, that was a huge complaint where you just rode around on Altair's horse for like hours on end, and it was like slow as shit. Because if you happened to get your horse into a mild trot past some Templars, they would kill the shit out of you. Because that's suspicious. That's why it actually took months to cross basic routes in the ancient world. But like, if they had introduced microtransactions for like turbo speed horses, I would have paid for that. Yeah, totally.
Like, if that's just going to be a
skipping
thing,
chapters.
I mean, they claim it's going to be like gear, so like better, like I guess things. It's like better weapon. Like basically, you can just get the best weapon like the first level just to destroy everyone. So you don't have to.
It's like pay to win with yourself. It's like a single player game. Well, it's not though, but.
Because I can respect microtransactions for free-to-play games, because they got to make their money somewhere. Like, I hate paying to winning, but I mean, it's a free-to-play game. Like, you know what you're getting into.
Well, and not all free-to-play games are necessarily pay-to-win, I don't think. Case in point, TF2.
But they all have microtransactions.
Collective sigh by everyone else in the BoBCast. What were you saying, Cameron?
Just saying.
Even if they aren't pay-to-win, they still generally all have microtransactions.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, there's a right way to do it, and there's the Ubisoft way to do it. And
Blacklight Retribution was pretty good about it.
That was good.
It wasn't bad. That's a good game. I forgot.
Honestly, I think they did it like the best because there was a clear progression scale, and like if you played it without paying for it at all, you could purchase the same things. It just would take you longer. And then the whole rental system was awesome.
Was the best,
yeah, because it's like you could play for like a night and get one attachment permanently, or you could rent a gun for like a couple days and see if you wanted to actually pay for it or work your way towards it. Like there were so many options, so I think they really hit the nail on the head there in terms of like balancing the microtransactions out. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems for like a co-op game, it just seems like really dumb. Like, what? I mean, why would you want? First of all, why would you pay for a game and then pay more to
Like,
get
that's
further
what-
in the
like,
game and
that's the
end
thing.
it quicker? It's like pay us more money so you can have less time playing this game.
Like it just doesn't
the
make
point?
sense. Like, why? It's a
just
a
unnecessary.
AAA title that you have to pay more money to skip the shitty gameplay to get to the end. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, we don't know prices or anything. Hopefully, it's not
well,
like,
I mean, and also if you enjoy the gameplay, it may not be necessarily shitty to
Mhm.
you.
Well, they're saying that they
But,
don't
like-
it's saying that it's not required, obviously, and they're
Yeah.
saying it doesn't break the game. So, I
it
don't
just
know.
seems unnecessary.
Very
Are they?
Right,
Is
like
it
the way
for the multiplayer aspect, or both single player and multiplayer?
As far as I know, it's just single player.
But
If
it's
it, was,
co-op.
if it was for multiplayer, that would be ridiculous.
They're like,
if
well, the
it's
thing is,
actual-
they're really pushing the co-op for
Mhm.
Unity. So like,
it's probably
I wouldn't-
for that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm sure you can use it with co-op, but it's like, it still doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
So we
I
can
don't know.
see how this all
see how it pans
works.
out.
October 28th, it's launching on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. They are having a different Assassin's Creed game. I almost call it Call of Duty because they're exactly the,
The
same thing at this
annualized
point.
games franchises all just run together.
And they're coming out with another Assassin's Creed game for 360 and PS3. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Honestly, I just had a great idea. So Ubisoft contact me because I'm patenting these rights tonight. But they should do like a crossover where like all the memorable, just timeless characters from Call of Duty, they all come together, and it turns out they're all like in the same universe as Assassin's Creed characters, and then like they can have one of them just slide in playing a Guitar Hero controller while like Tony Hawk is in the background. Just like all the annualized franchises turn out to be in like the same multiverse, and they should just have like crossovers everywhere. I would play that game.
I would pay to play that game.
I would pay to play that game. And somewhere an EA or Ubisoft marketing executive just perked their ears up and they were like, I heard something in the ether.
Mixed Watch
Hang
Dogs in
on.
that too. Just have like an
Mixed Watch- yeah,
entire
all of them.
universe.
Aiden Pierce's iconic just character comes in. Holy shit, it would be great.
And then someone got the Division in there too. Like
The Division,
the
yeah,
shit hits the
dude.
fan and turns apocalyptic, and you can be like
Turns-
Altair in the Division.
Exactly. Dude, that's a game idea right there. Putting that to market.
Sponsor us, Ubisoft.
Tom, you're a
Ubisoft.
Even though we hate you and we say it every episode, give us some money so we can talk about how much we hate you some more. Oh dear.
I'll single-handedly fix this broken company.
You can
I feel
you
like
know,
go ahead.
computer science your way into making this wonderful idea.
Exactly.
I feel like if you and Ryan, so Ryan got the financial thing going down, and you kind of got like the actual like intelligence, like gaming intelligence. Not saying. Let me preface
hope he doesn't
that.
watch
Shots
this.
fired, and this is the last podcast that Ryan ever watched.
But you got like the gaming and technology sides. If you two just merge, I feel like they just need a gamer to run a company. Like I don't know if any of these guys actually play games.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
Why would a
I don't know.
game company care about gaming?
That's
itself?
that's what they need.
It's money, dude.
That's why you got
That's
Ryan there.
Obviously.
He's gonna get you the money,
No.
but you just
Yeah, I
do
know.
it. You come
That's
like
the
Gabe
best.
Newell. You'd be the next Gabe Newell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what's happening? Gabe Newell's a genius. I am not.
Oh dear. Other news, going back to what we talked about just a little bit ago, Grand Theft Auto 5 news, and it's going to do it again, black screen. Every time I do this, I don't know why, I have to turn off the scene and turn it back on. There it is.
Production value.
Okay, OBS, if you want to make a better product, then we can have awesome production value.
Open source.
It is open source. That's the problem with it. It's a piece of shit.
I'm saying someone can go fix it right now if they wanted.
Go do that.
Why don't
Fix
you do that, Tom?
Just go code it. Anyway.
Yeah.
There's all these rumors going in the street that are completely non-fact based. They're just completely like, I think this is gonna happen. Basically, an article by International Business Times say that Grand Theft Auto 4 or Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS4, PC, and Xbox One release date delayed until 2015? Question mark. And they have absolutely no facts or rumors or anything to base this on, other than the fact that they don't have a release date for this year yet. That is their sole reasoning behind it. Which, I suppose, I can kind of see, just given the fact that it is August already, and if they're trying to like prep this for like the holiday shopping season, so
Dude,
not a
it's
release date
totally
yet.
going to be holiday shopping.
I know, but you'd think they'd start talking about it a little bit more.
Although
Although
actually, hold on. Now that I think about it, going back to the beginning where we talked about how all basically purchases are now digital, like
Mhm.
how do you digitally purchase a PC game for your loved one? I guess you just give them
we
Steam
can
money.
we can
I'm
gift
just
it.
saying, like for the holiday season. Although there is the Steam
Is
Winter
it-
Sale, so it's
Yeah,
not
you can
completely
gift.
unreasonable.
When you buy someone like a gift, can you time it so it shows up in their library at a certain time?
I think you just gift it, like you buy the gift voucher and then you just give it to them whenever. I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, if they're waiting for the holiday season on PC, and if it's all digital, you can't like necessarily. It doesn't have the same effect. I can't wrap up a Steam gift.
I mean, don't worry,
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna get you guys Bad Rats for Steam. I'm gonna
What
buy
is
just
Bad Rats?
the best Steam game ever created.
Well, I'm waiting.
I will make
Hold
sure to
on,
gift
say.
that to all of you for Christmas Eve. That'll be my gift to all of you.
Okay.
Sounds
yeah.
like a game we'll get a lot of playing time out of.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's 24 cents right now on
Okay, I can accept that gift then.
But yeah, anyway, this is their sole purpose. I guess this is what happens when you get an article from like a primarily business magazine. I can see their perspective, but whatever. We'll see. Now, hardware wise, this is when I'm starting to get really, really excited. I'm breathing heavily. LG is going to unveil to the world the first 29 or 21 by 9 curved ultra wide monitor. So it's a 21 by 9 aspect ratio running at 3440 by 1440. So it's really wide. What is it, 34 inch? Yeah, 34 inches in like a diameter, for 34 inches diameter, and it's just awesome. And I want this.
Diameter?
so
Not exactly.
bad.
Not exactly, but
What?
Diagonal, maybe?
What did I say?
Diameter
Diameter.
is...
Oh, I meant diagonal. Yeah, that's what I was. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, and hold on, I'm gonna turn off the window, turn it back on because it doesn't want to do that. Oh, I just clicked it twice. Turn off, turn on.
the real question is what technology is going to be behind this, in terms of like what you're going to need to, what kind of like graphics card you're going to need to run it. I'm assuming it's 4K.
I mean, no, it's 1440. It's 340 by 1440, which comes out to a bunch of pixels. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, so
what
4K.
I don't- is
Several
it 4K?
too many.
I don't know.
I think it is.
Well, they're also unveiling the. Well, yeah, this is the. It is 4K. I lied. So their old one is that. So I was reading the wrong one. Haha. So it is a 4K. It's 4096 by 2160. It's 31 inch screen. So it's equivalent to 4 HD monitors in terms of 1080p monitors. Like that's what 4K is. That's why there's
That's
4K.
hence 4K.
As opposed to 2160p, which I like. I prefer 2160p, but whatever.
God.
But it'll be running at 144 hertz. So I mean, this will be like the best monitor you can buy in terms of
Maybe.
the refresh rate and resolution. So it's 4K and 144 hertz, and it's again the ultra wide 21 by 9 aspect ratio, and it's curved, so it kind of bends around you a little bit, which kind of makes up for the fact that it's really wide, so it can kind of help with the whole gaming aspect and maybe try and fit into your periph a little bit more. But I think it's awesome. Tom disagrees. I think a curved display monitor is awesome.
I mean, I'll agree with you that curved display makes a lot, like, only makes sense for a desktop situation.
Because we were talking
And the whole-
yesterday during Battlefield that like they have curved TVs, but I think that's stupid.
It's ridiculous because it just limits the viewing angle.
Exactly.
Like, so for a group viewing thing, like that makes no sense. For a monitor where you alone are seeing it, like it makes more sense.
Mhm.
I don't know if it makes the most sense, but
It's
we'll
not-
see.
And it is an IPS display, so it's another huge plus for this monitor. It's basically the best of almost everything you can get, and it will deliver a 178-degree viewing angle for an immersive viewing experience. So that's kind of basically amazing because even though it is curved, I mean you can still look from every angle. So whatever. So I mean I'd really like this one for video editing. and you have so much real estate. Because I do a dual monitor setup right now, but the bezel in between the two monitors is kind of annoying. And then with this being 4K, it's something that's not mentioned a lot, but with it being 4K, that means when I have the video editor open and I have like the preview for when I'm editing, I can essentially have the full resolution like output if I'm rendering in 1080p just on the monitor as long like with the timeline and other files and everything. So I mean that's like huge for video editing, like 4K. Like that's one of the biggest things going forward right now. But in terms of like hardware, yeah, that'll be
Yeah, you're gonna have
you're
what,
gonna need
like
a
3
lot.
Titans behind that, or
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot. I'm more so excited just for 21:9 in general, as opposed to like specifically. I mean, this one's amazing, but I mean, the amount of money, if one, this monitor will cost, and two, the hardware that you'll need for it to run it, will be crazy. It's also less than a 1 millisecond refresh or response time.
dude, that's
so.
for the gaming monitor. That's not the curved one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. So it'll be really awesome, and I want it all.
You'll have to have several to many dollars in order to afford
quite a
it.
few.
Yeah.
Possibly several jobs, or maybe one less kidney.
The one thing
Options.
I'm banking on, hopefully, is that when they release the curved one, their current 21:9 IPS display, which is not curved, will go on sale at a cheaper price because that's what sales are.
Because everyone's going
It'll
to
go on-
immediately see.
Well, I mean, not only that,
Everyone
but
with
they're
a flat panel will be like, shit, I can't curve this, and then they'll just throw it away and get the new one.
well, it's more so just because you gotta get rid of your stock of the older ones and
I
bring in the
understand.
newer ones. So I'm hoping the older ones will go on sale because I would love the giant monitor. I'd probably get one of those and then I have a third monitor on the side, just because.
That's just unnecessary.
Well, I mean,
It's unnecessary.
I mean, right now I'm
It's
running-
unnecessary.
you're talking to me here.
A lot of things are unnecessary, Tom.
I mean, right now I'm rocking a 32:9 aspect ratio, so I mean I need some extra real estate on there. So I don't know. I'm really excited for this. Connor, like, you haven't said much. Like, do you have any interest in like one more monitor gaming or like ultra wide gaming monitors or anything of the sort?
I don't even. Both of my monitors aren't even 1080p. I have one 1080p, and the other one's like 1600 by 900 or something.
Oh,
So really, I just, if it looks good to me, I'm pretty much okay with whatever.
I can dig it.
I do think the curve thing is a pretty cool idea, though, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I want it so bad. Other gaming news comes from Wired. This one came. Tom showed me this one earlier. The internet is officially more popular than cable television, which means there are more more broadband internet subscribers than cable internet subscribers in the United States right now, which is kind of a big point of this. I mean, look at things like Netflix and everything that's really starting to take over. And let me turn off the monitor and turn it back on so you can see it in full screen. There we go. And so, I mean, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, I personally wanted to just get internet. I didn't want cable, but my other roommates decided they wanted
Yeah.
it. So,
In our place, we only have, we just have internet right now.
hmm
So
I mean, I could really care less about having cable. I mean, the only thing I watch on TV right now, or anytime that the Weather Channel buys my footage and they air it on TV, I'll watch it like, oh, that's cool. And then I'll watch Walking Dead, and that's pretty much it. That's all the TV
I feel
watch.
like as video streaming services just become more ubiquitous, like even
Sports.
bigger networks think, well,
Yeah, I mean, that's big for a
actually,
lot
that
of
was the perfect
people,
example.
but-
Like just this past weekend, Kevin and Mark wanted to watch a basketball game, but like we didn't have the cable hooked up yet, so we went to the internet and watched the game online, and it's like it's just more bigger networks and stuff are just going to start
Yeah.
going through the internet and just
Mhm.
makes sense. So
A lot of streams for sports that I've found have really never been up to quality that I would like.
I mean, that's
And-
very true.
And especially with
But-
sports, you want to watch it on a big TV with friends. So that's the only reason we have cable is because we watch sports all the time.
True, but also like as things become more networked, like don't you think eventually every thing connected to our TVs can have an internet connection? Like
Oh,
my
yeah.
DVD player or Blu-ray player, has an internet connection, so I watch
I
Netflix
think
through
ours
that.
is too.
Yeah, So, like, I don't think it's that hard to believe that eventually, if not just a dedicated internet TV, you can have some type of set top, or, not set top nowadays because everything's flat panel, but, you'll have some type of box that you connect that's internet connected that you can just stream things through that. So I think it's just a matter of getting the consumer products and the infrastructure, which obviously as broadband eclipses internet, like, you're going to get more work on the broadband infrastructure because it's obviously where the money is. So,
I mean, look at just Google Fiber. Once that starts spreading everywhere, like,
once they stop giving podunk towns,
like, I have to imagine Comcast.
Kansas City isn't that podunk.
Yeah, Kansas City I think is like the biggest. This isn't the like Houston or Austin. It's a Texas city, I think.
I think it's Austin.
I think Austin. Okay. Austin's pretty tech heavy, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm fairly sure. So, but yeah,
Austin's a big town.
I mean, you got to really think about like Comcast. They're probably starting to like freak out a little bit. Like, what are we gonna do? I mean, this almost goes back to what we were talking about earlier about digital sales over physical copy sales for PC games. Like, now you can just buy things online. You can stream everything online.
Right.
You can watch everything online. I mean, even Comcast themselves, you can watch television on your computer using the internet if you have like your login.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think the real sign that cable's going to be done for is when like things like HBO just let you have internet subscriptions. Like, not get internet through them, but I mean let you just have HBO Go, where it's like I can just go online, stream movies, stream their shows, and not actually have to use someone else's physical TV subscription code to get it. Yeah. Because that's like the only reason I would consider getting some type of cable subscription package, because obviously right now I'm kind of piggybacking off my parents, but like when I get my own place, I'll want to watch HBO stuff, but like right now the only way I can do that is if I get a cable subscription and pay for HBO. So like that's the only reason I would do it. If I would be pretty much done right there.
Dick, do you think we'd be hitting a point where things will become more how do I want to put this? As opposed to like buying a full subscription and then you're getting like all the premium channels, do you think it's going to hit a point where you're buying like this channel and this channel and this channel as opposed to just getting all of them? Kind of like piecemeal or whatever.
That's what everyone wants, but like the way cable companies survive is by giving you package deals and by doing it by channel blocks, So it would completely disrupt their business model, but that's one of the reasons that obviously the internet is way better, is because you can pick and choose, and you can watch independent streams, and you can break it down, watch shows whenever. So, it's just a lot more sensible. So,
I can see that.
We'll see.
So Mark has joined us, by the way.
Yeah.
So he's here. So that's not two people that are not in the intro. They're actually here. So welcome, Mark.
Oh, thank you.
Right. So I don't know. In terms of you, just real quickly touching on this topic, like, I mean, do you watch TV at all? Besides, I mean, sport, I know you do, but I mean, anything else besides that? Would you care to have a Comcast or any television?
I mean, I don't know. I watch it since we have it. I'll put on like Seinfeld or something,
I was just gonna say Seinfeld is on in our apartment like
pretty
much every day.
Yeah, so I enjoy that, but I also have every single episode of Seinfeld on my computer, so I can watch it there. I also can watch shows online and stuff, so I don't think I would really need it, besides for sports.
Okay.
Let's see. This summer, I went from being at school, having cable, to being subleasing an apartment and not having cable. And I didn't miss it a ton, but the only thing I missed was it was during the NHL playoffs, so I had to go out to a bar in a city where I didn't know anyone and watch the Blackhawks play. Or I could try to stream it, and when I tried to stream it, I ended up barely being able to watch it because the stream quality was just so shitty.
Yeah.
So really, between Netflix and HBO Go, I can watch all the shows that I want, but it's really sports is what brings me back to cable.
I think that's almost like with the gaming thing as well. The subscription gaming is really going to work for sports games, so that's kind of funny how it works for that.
That's true.
Anyway. moving on to the hardware side of things, we're once again touching on solid-state drives. OCZ, they launched their ARC 100 240 gigabyte solid-state drive, and it's 240 gigabytes for $120. So you're paying 50 cents per gigabyte, which is very low in terms of other solid-state drives, because solid-state drives are finally kind of hitting the point of starting to get cheaper. And the read and write speeds, while not incredible compared to like some other ones, these are obviously geared towards more budget-conscious people. Read and write speeds, 480 read, 430 write. So I mean that's that's good. I mean it's definitely much better than any hard drive you got. Probably like 8 to 10 times faster than that. And I mean I just picked up this one, the Kingston one, which I still haven't opened or installed yet. I'm going to do that at some point in the future. I got that one for like a very similar thing, a 120 gigabyte for 60. So that was again like 50 cents per gigabyte, which is huge. So solid state drives are finally becoming a thing. Now we asked Mark last week about moving to solid state drive. He said he will at some point. Connor, do you have any interest in upgrading to the solid state drive master race?
Yes. I mean, I just want to put, Windows and all that jazz on a solid state so I can boot in, 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if I won't be anytime soon because I just won't be able to upgrade anything really anytime soon. But once I can, that's a must. I'm definitely getting a solid state drive.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, solid-state drives are without a doubt the best way to boost performance in your computer, just without a doubt. The read and write speeds on them are phenomenal, and like the boot speeds for like computers, awesome. And I got a fairly cheaper one that's I think on its way out, so it's kind of running a little bit slow. But I mean, I'll still log in like under 10 seconds, which is pretty fantastic. So solid-state drives are awesome. And on top of that, we mentioned last week that AMD are entering the solid-state drive market, and as we know, they've been very budget-conscious with most of their products, and that continues into solid-state drives. So here we have again from Hot Hardware, yet again, the AMD Radeon R7 series 240 gigabyte. They also released a 120 gigabyte and a 480 gigabyte one. Both of these are in the 500s for read and write. A 550 megabit per second read for the 240 megabyte one. For the 120 megabit, you got 552. That's 550 across the board. For write speeds, the 120 comes in at 470, and then the 240 and 480 gigabyte coming in at 530 megabit per second write speeds. So higher than the OCZ ones, but they do actually cost a little bit more, if I believe. Because the 120 gigabyte one is 99, the 240 gigabyte one is 163. And the 480 gigabyte one is 300. So not quite the 50 cents per gigabyte as we were looking at for the OCZ ones. But again, these are a little bit higher performance. Again, we're looking just at read and write speeds. There are other things too with solid-state drives, but
yeah. Well, it should also be noted that the AMD ones are based on OCZ controllers, and so they perform very similar to the higher end OCZ offerings. But obviously, they're like you said, AMD's going for the more budget-friendly, but still hitting a pretty good performance mark on there, which was interesting.
So, Mark, we've been throwing out all these solid-state drives like the last 3 podcasts. Like, have you been looking at the solid-state drive market, or have you been looking at ones to purchase down the road?
No, I mean I haven't looked into it at all. I'm not sure when I'm going to actually do that. Probably not anytime soon. At least in the near future, but yeah, I don't know anything about them, so
okay,
I'll be looking into them, but I'll need your guys' help, I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
to make a final decision.
If you get one of the AMD ones, you can do an installation guide, get a little review going on there, do some benchmarks.
Do it.
Your first article on the bobgaming.com.
Oh yeah, sure.
Sweet, man.
It's also I find kind of interesting how AMD named it the AMD Radeon R7. I now have no idea what their naming
Their
scheme
naming
is
scheme is dumb. I don't understand.
I already didn't understand why how their graphics cards are now structured, but now that they're naming their SSDs the same way, it just doesn't make sense. And there's no distinguishing, alright, so the Corsair series of peripherals, a K95 is a keyboard and an M95 is a mouse. There you go. That makes sense. This is literally just R7 or R9, and like, which is which?
I will admit though, Corsair, they do have like all the power supplies with crazy names. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, I don't really know what all the prefixes are there. They have the HX, the TX, the AX, and I'm like, all right, now you're just making shit up. It's not even like they're alphabetic, where it's like, you know, the AX is the highest performing and the TX is the lowest performing. It's kind of just all over the map.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I mean, what the top AMD card right now is that the R9 290X?
290X.
Okay, so that's their best one. Okay, so we got that going for us, as opposed to the Titan Black, I guess would be the NVIDIA top of the line. Although 780 Ti is realistically
I think other
the
things
best.
I think there are 700 some 700 series that have surpassed the Black, or the
probably
Titans, I think.
And realistically, in this gaming market, the 780 Ti is probably like the top that you would get now. So
yeah, Titans aren't even really that good for gaming.
Exactly.
They're obviously not bad at all, but like they're just like overkill.
3D rendering and all that.
Yeah, and using, we talked a little bit about the other day with CUDA, or I don't remember, but they're more for like general purpose computing as well. But yeah.
All right. Touching off of Corsair, which you just talked about, again, another topic we've touched heavily on in the past, is that we finally have a release date for the Corsair K70 RGB keyboard.
God.
Yeah!
Oh my god.
You're so on this keyboard, dude.
September 8th. It's a lot of people care about it. It's like huge. A lot of people care. It's like being pre-ordered like crazy.
Really?
I think it gets sold out of a few retailers already. So, but it comes out September 8th. So we'll have a video on that when it comes out. Expect it. I'm excited. So yeah. Anyway, Connor, I mean, you've seen this keyboard. I mean, you haven't been on the BoBCast when we've introduced it a few times, but have you actually seen like how the keyboard works?
Seen it. Yeah.
I mean, will it match up with your Rainbow fans real well?
It'll match up real nice. However, it's gonna cost. What's the price range on that thing?
$170.
Yeah, that's a little out of my price range, but
a lot.
Yeah, and by that I mean it's $170 out of my price range. But once I have money to spare, yeah, that'll be something I will purchase. Because I do want a mechanical keyboard, because I still do not have one.
They are great.
And I want a rainbow one, because why would I not? So
it's not just a rainbow, but you can just do.
Yeah, I can just do.
I won't go on it.
Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, is that what it does?
The things you can do are just awesome. Like all the animations.
I have like 4 colors I can change mine to now. So that's exciting.
That's more than mine. I mean, I have my green Death Stalker and my blue Black Widow. Black Widow's too stuck down here. But yeah, I mean, Black Widow I love. Because, I mean, we mentioned Razer announced their RGB keyboard, the Black Widow Chroma, I think is what it's called. They released that to basically compete with Corsair, so they're finally starting to be a lot of options in that market. But moving on to the other hardware news. Again, we've talked about it before in terms of like the limit of computing, like processors. There's a point at which you really can't do much more. Tommy, I'm gonna let you just kind of talk about all this.
Go on.
I'm just gonna. I mean, you're the one that posted it, so go ahead.
All right. Well, so basically, there's this conjecture that we call Moore's law, where basically the guy who co-founded Intel, or IBM rather, said that the number of processors on a chip is going to double every 2 years, and it's roughly held true. So basically, just every couple of years, we get better chips, faster chips, cheaper chips. That's the idea. But recently, we've kind of hit up to a point where, like, if we just jam any more components on something, it just gets too hot to run. So the point that there's this researcher, Igor Markov, at the University of Michigan, who wrote this article saying basically, like, there are hard physical limits to our chips, but there's also a lot of, like, other things that are just like energy efficiency. Like, that's one big issue right now that we aren't necessarily at a physical limit for. We just need to find better engineered solutions. And so basically the whole point of his article was just that there is a hard physical limit to how fast we can make chips and stuff, but we're not necessarily there, and it's really just going to require more engineering of the actual silicon just to get even within that range.
And
so,
is that, we're talking like smaller architecture in terms of like 14 nanometer and smaller, or what else are we talking about in terms of
more,
building better architecture?
Basically getting getting the components smaller, getting more on the same chip. Because again, like if you go smaller, you wouldn't just build a smaller architecture and then not put more transistors on it. So like it just fitting all of that stuff on it at once is going to present a lot of just physical limits, thermal limits a lot in a lot of senses, just how hot they get, energy limits, how fast you can actually communicate from one end of the chip to the other and between the various components. And all he was saying is basically like we shouldn't necessarily be focusing on trying to cram more parts onto a chip. We should just be trying to focus on how we can reduce these hurdles and actually work towards getting faster stuff. So, although honestly at this point I think faster in terms of just gigahertz, I think that era is kind of done.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get past 5 gigahertz, you get some weird problems going on. So honestly, now it's just going to be getting more specialized components and stuff, more power efficient and more cores.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we touched on last week on why competition in the processor market is so important to keep driving people to try and innovate like more and more to try and beat the other one, as opposed to hitting kind of like a stagnant where they're kind of like the sole monopoly of the market. And that's why I wish AMD would stick with the enthusiasts, whatever.
Well, but the thing is, there's also some kind of crossover because now that we've seen mobile spring up in a lot of ways, I mean, the smaller you can make a chip, the smaller you could make the device overall, and the less power it'll use. So, ideally, you could have a phone that's as powerful as your desktop, and if we had that, then that would require some crazy engineering leaps and some major shrinkages in terms of the various technologies we have currently. But or even just longer battery life, on your regular phone. So I think innovation there is eventually going to cross over into the desktop space. Once you invent technology there, you can kind of bring it over and vice versa.
Very, very true. So it's an exciting world ahead of us in the processor world, as it always is with computers. So
very fast-paced.
That is very, very true. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the end of most of these things. I mean, there's kind of the stupid one I was going to touch on, but it's just too stupid to even share. Well, okay, fuck it. So, Facebook, continually me hating on Facebook, as again, there's another trend we've got going on. They're adding the satire tag for stories that are satire, because people are too stupid. Test driving. People are too stupid. They said
they were just...
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're not. It's not official, but I mean, they probably will. But basically, people are too stupid to realize that stories are satire, which adds to the humor of it when people think it's real. One of my favorite ones from last year that had so many people oh my god, this is an outrage, was a story on I forget which one it was. It was a story on Obama putting cheaper free gas stations in low income neighborhoods so that they need to get free gas to go to work. And everyone, it was, freaking out, this is an abomination, how can you do this? Us hard-working Americans have to pay full price for our gas and just get more handouts, and people are guys, stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the general internet public. A lot of people aren't just going to grasp things. Although I guess there is something of note where, you can't really convey sarcasm in text.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a point that we hit, me working in journalism. Sometimes we want to write satirical stories, but it's so hard in order to do it properly.
Right.
I think our favorite one that got shared a lot was one of my coworkers wrote a story on why North Korea landing on the sun, because they claim they landed put a man on the sun, and he wrote a story claiming how North Korea is so ahead of the U.S. and what they're doing is amazing and their achievements are great, and clearly joking, and we still got messages like are you stupid? You really think they did that? It's stop.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it comes down to basically what source it's coming from. I mean, if you're reading The Onion and you think anything they print is serious, it's you've clearly failed as a human. But
although they've been sharing this other stuff from their affiliate called the AV Club, which is actual news. It's entertainment news.
Yeah.
But that's real, and people think it's fake because it's being shared by The Onion. It's God damn it, guys.
It's
Get your shit together. Finally, again, we talked about the advances in processors, how exciting that's going to be in the future, but also the advances in graphics in the near future. This conference that we're talking about, where basically people sharing all these wonderful things, and it's a papers, right? It's kind of like a shared papers.
It's a research conference. Yeah.
So basically showing the greatness and advances in graphics and a bunch of other wonderful things, and like motion controls, and I'm trying to think of what the word motion capture. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
And it's very, very cool stuff. And while it's not all video game related, I mean, this is stuff that you see in movies, stuff you see in video games, stuff you see, I mean, like, even, like, sound things and all that, like, how dynamic things can be. Like, actually, looking at that right now, is how, like, sounds affect and, like, bounce off different walls, and how the sound becomes just amazing and more realistic. And then light engines, like, shadows just look beautiful, and all of that wonderful stuff.
That was one of the cool things, actually, that I saw a preview for coming out of this conference. There was this demo where this guy was walking through these ruins, and like as he was talking, it was reverberating off of, like, he walked into a courtyard, and it would accurately reflect the reverberations of his voice. And then he walked out, and then he like was in the open jungle, and he walked into a canyon, and it like all of it sounded as if he was, you know, walking between outside and more enclosed spaces and stuff. So again, like Nick said, you know, it's not necessarily all of this is not for video games, but you could see how a lot of the technologies would translate over and just generally make an experience like that better, and just computer graphics better in general.
So I feel one of the things that's holding back games lately, it's not the visuals, it's the audio. A lot of games are just starting to sound the same, because we've hit like this point where you really can't do so much with the audio, and it's all starting to just kind of sound the same. Like, movies are starting to get a lot better. Like, movies are amazing lately. Like, Into the Storm, actually, as stupid as that movie kind of was for a lot of people, it won for best sound, like, editing.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, the whole, like, building was shaking and shit was happening all over. It was awesome. Like, the audio editing in that was awesome. Connor, you should have fucking came with me to see that movie. But no.
When was I offered to go see this movie?
Oh, I talked to Ryan. Ryan's the one that didn't want to go.
Oh,
so
wow.
I just figured that translated to you as well.
When did you go see it?
Twins of the same person.
Sunday, I think.
Sunday.
Come on.
That's when you said you were going to text me when you went somewhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
forgot
Well,
to.
it was closed.
Didn't.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, we were going to go to the
Yeah.
movies, but it was closed.
God damn it.
And then I saw a man's ass at the Mystic.
Oh.
So there's a story for you guys.
The Sox game?
Please hit us with it.
Yeah,
no,
please,
we went to
do
the
tell.
Mystic, which is a
The Mystic.
garbage little dive bar. And so I go to the bathroom to pee, and there's a dude. He's standing up in the stall. The stall door's open. He has his pants down, and he is wiping his ass. Just right in front. Like, I open the door, and this is what hits me. Just a middle-aged man, the middle-aged man's ass. And I'm just like, I was blown away. I was like, what the fuck?
Holy shit.
That's
Wow.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So you had a great time, is what you're saying.
So in other words, yeah.
Well, yeah.
The only thing you can do in that situation is try to make it as awkward for him as it is for you. So you have to like offer to help or something.
I was gonna say, yeah, you offered like help him wipe or something. Like, you missed a spot right there.
I was too blown
Yeah, there
away.
you go.
I just went to the urinal and peed. And just went, what?
Just left.
Okay.
What did I just witness?
Yeah.
I think we just walked in, probably just walked right out. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this
that
right
was
now.
Done.
180, hit the bar, and try and drink away your memory.
That's probably what I should have done.
Grab a handle like
Simpson.
vodka to spray in your eyes, like.
Yeah, right.
That sounds a little too drastic.
Oh god.
But continuing with the graphic side of things,
Anyway, back to computer graphics.
the new Unreal Engine 4 demos have been just like, this is all video game related. So this is not movies. Like, this is photorealism right here. Like, this is about as close to photorealism as you can ever get, at least right now. It's just the lighting and everything, and it just looks so amazing.
I mean, that's really the biggest advancement I think we're going to get in the coming years to game engines in general. Really is the lighting. I mean, we have the resolutions down at this point.
Mhm.
You can't really, you can scale up resolutions, but at some point you can only look at a grimy floor so close. So I think the lighting is really where we're going to see some major advances, and this really is what UE4 kind of presents to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really see it just like you said, it looks photorealistic, like to the point where you don't even really, you wouldn't notice it unless you're like really looking for it.
Like there's some pictures that I've seen that like they're like of like a room with like a carpet and like the sun coming in, the drapes like scattering the light.
Yeah.
And like I when you first look at it, it's like that's a picture, like that's a game, like
That's
what?
That's a
Like
picture of something.
it looks so amazing. So the Unreal Tournament that's coming out, the new Unreal Tournament, which is free, not free to play, it's free. How is that running on Unreal Engine 4? Do you know?
Yeah,
It is. I figured it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, because
It's like a showcase.
it just looks so amazing. Like again, if you can get this on top of amazing audio, like future audio, like when we start talking about the reverberations and everything with the audio, like this is the future. Like the last like 10 minutes we've been talking, this is the future of our hobby. Is this
Yeah.
photorealistic
This is what you have
game
to look
engine?
forward to.
This photorealistic game engine and just amazing audio, which I really need to get a better headset. My headset sucks.
Get a headset, dude.
I need to do that because like when I was listening to whose was I using? Probably Mark's. When I was using your headset and the audio for Battlefield was like it was just
Battlefield
so
has
much better.
very good audio.
What headset do you have?
I have a real shitty. It's a Turtle Beach X12.
Okay,
That's
because I have
pretty-
Turtle Beaches too, but
It's pretty. I think it was like $40, so it's pretty quality. I spent my money on my other peripherals, like like the stupid keyboard. That's where my money goes.
That's where the money goes. Oh, that's
oh, it's
fair.
stupid now, huh?
Okay, let's be real. I'm only getting it because it looks awesome. Like, I'm not like gonna be like, oh my god, the Cherry switches are the top of the, which they are, but this
I'm
is the
pretty
top
sure-
of the line, and that's why I want it. But
I'm pretty sure we've been over how if your computer looks pretty, it goes faster.
Yeah,
We've been over
yeah,
this.
We know this.
It goes faster. It's just better in general.
Yeah.
the
More
more
you're
LEDs,
just
better
better
than
than
everyone
everybody.
else,
Yeah, I mean, it's just
'cause, I mean, right now I'm switching all my greens out for purples in the next few days. So hopefully the next Bobcast will have a purple one. I'll probably do a build vlog, like a vlog video of upgrading all the
God.
fans because that's gonna make me really happy. So I'm really excited. As you can tell, purple is my school color. So I've grown attached to purple recently. But anyway, the real engine, especially when you start moving around, this was we'll post a link in the video information below this video so you can check it out for yourself. But it's a panel where they're just kind of demoing and walking through this level, and it just looks so amazing. So, yeah,
yes.
that's what I got. That's all the topics. We've covered everything that I can think of.
Yep.
Anything else anyone wants to bring up? What have you been playing this week? 'Cause I haven't really been playing games at all. I mean, I've been playing Battlefield 4 is pretty much all I've been playing the past like several weeks.
That's all I've been playing.
Then
I'm
you
playing right now.
They need another double EXP weekend to get me really involved again. I have 100 times multiplier. I'm waiting for the next double EXP weekend.
Dude,
Ooh.
I've too many. But
Doesn't really matter. You don't have to wait. What's the difference?
When I've been playing with people, it's all been Battlefield 4. But I finished Max Payne 3 recently, and I've been playing a lot of Dishonored.
oh
Trying
yeah,
to play through that, and then me and Tom played some Sniper Elite V2 co-op.
Nice.
Dude,
Was that
co-op, man.
2 days? Yesterday, yeah,
yesterday I think
yeah.
that was pretty great. I love how Sniper V2 co-op is literally just Sniper V2 single player, just like with another character model next to the main character.
Yeah.
So, like all the cutscenes, they don't even have. It's just all of the same cutscenes, but then it's just cuts back to gameplay, and it's just two people.
They don't
And you're
acknowledge
like,
that there's two people.
Yeah, no,
like-
they don't even like work it into the story. Not even like shoehorned. It's literally
Yeah.
just like you're here, and then this is. So I like to imagine that it's actually like all in the sniper's mind, where it's like, because honestly, even in the single player, you only have his word to go on. There's no one giving him missions. As far as you know, he's just gone insane and just starts shooting people and sees everything as bombed out Berlin. So I like to think that I'm actually just like the imaginary character who accompanied him on these sniping missions. But that's neither here nor there. So we did play a little bit of that. I've been playing a lot of BF4, mostly because I'm just trying to unlock the last couple guns and finally say that I got my premium's money's worth. I finished out Far Cry 3, finally 100% of the game. Immediately deleted it.
No more walls.
Wait,
Broken?
what about the multiplayer?
No. Oh yeah, dude, that's true. I honestly kind of want to play multiplayer.
It was kind of fun to be
No,
honest.
not even multiplayer. I just want to like make maps and then just have us run around in them and just screw around.
I'm down.
But
I'll buy it
that's
just for
a
that.
secondary thing. And then I played the game of watching a shitload of Counter-Strike Go competitive.
I really wish I have been doing that.
Yeah, it's all on Twitch. ESL.
I mean, is it still live right now? Like, how long does that run through?
It ended. It was
I thought
like,
it did.
yeah, it's over. But all the past broadcasts are safe up on
Sweet.
Twitch. So definitely watch them. They are awesome.
Shoutcast.
Every time, like they have another tournament, the number of viewers goes up. So
The future of entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, streaming on the internet.
Exactly. Well, and the future of esports.
Well, that too. Future of ESPN. I have only been playing Battlefield 4 and SimCity. I started playing SimCity again. I hated it, and then I realized I hated it, but I kept playing.
But you did play.
I still keep playing. Even though I hate it, I still keep playing. I don't know why I do this to myself. But
I feel like that goes for like Battlefield 4 too.
Especially for Tom. A lot of, I hate this game. And then
Fuck this, dude. Fuck Battlefield 4.
Every time
hate it.
Somebody says it.
It's the worst game. It's like literally the worst game. Not really.
It's not.
It's not. It's fun. Here's the thing. I hate it because I just throw myself completely into the assignments. So like, I'm trying to unlock a gun, and it's like, get these stupid requirements, and then I'm just doing that the entire time. When I throw on a gun that's like super, like just my cheese class, that's OP as shit, and I just run around pooping on bros, like obviously I'm having an awesome time, because that's what I'm working towards. But right now I'm just trying to unlock things.
Mm-hmm. But I wish I don't know.
So
I don't care about assignments at all. Like I probably should, but I really just
why? Why should you care about?
I mean,
an arbitrary
because it gives you like
thing.
something to go for as opposed to jumping in and just killing people. Like it gives you like a goal in mind, and I feel like that's something that's really missing from my enjoyment. I mean, I guess that's really what keeps like the game going.
So multiplayer games in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what keeps games going. Is like people, like some
modern
people,
multiplayer game.
Yeah. I mean, like, some people always fly to try and get those objectives, like case in point, Mark, just yesterday, trying to kill people in fighter jet.
That was the worst.
But, like, I mean, those objectives and the mission, like, the little side things to unlock everything, like, that's what kind of keeps the multiplayer going. Like, I mean, the only reason people, like, repair vehicles is probably to get something and to give help to people.
Yeah. That's why they have to encourage,
exactly.
Teamwork.
So, if you're not in the Bob clan, the Bob squad, then... The Bob Squad. It's a Bomb Squad. I like that.
We had 2 people last night that asked if they could join our clan, so...
And they...
Did they really?
Absolutely not. They were the worst players.
They were just standing in a field the whole time. So.
They were literally just on a hill, Caspian border, just 2 of them sitting there the entire time.
Is that not the type of players you want to play with?
I prefer the snipers that's lay way in the back.
If they were at least sniping, that's one thing. They were literally just standing.
Sitting in some crate. They were like staring at a crate. And they didn't shoot, they didn't move.
It was just absurd.
Like, I thought they were AFK, but, like, they would, like, move around every once in a while. It's like...
And then, like, he got into my helicopter and tried to blow it up, so...
They're not smart.
Probably because we didn't respond to him, you know? He wanted in, but we just didn't give him the deets.
Didn't include him. Damn.
That was before he asked to join, so... Take that.
Well. Right. Also, I remembered I have been playing a copious amount of GTA Vice City and pretending I am 11 again. So that's been fun. I don't even remember when that came out. I was probably older than 11. All I remember, though, is that, like, throughout 5th and 6th grade, I would just play that shit every day after school. It was so fun. And
I had a PC, but I never had that game. I had 3.
So, yeah, well, I never actually owned them because I didn't even get a PS3 or PS2 until I was, like, 13. But I would just go to my friend's house every day after school. And we would just play it. And we wouldn't actually ever play the game. We would just put in all the cheat codes to, like, start riots and then just run around crashing into things.
Oh, yeah, I never actually
That was the greatest thing about Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I mean, as you're prone to do in GTA.
So, Grand Theft Auto after the BoBCast?
Oh, thanks.
Alright. Always one to ruin it.
Dinner.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna go eat
dinner. What the hell?
It's 9:30.
Yeah, so
what the hell?
Well, so I already told Nick, but I woke up today in the most piece of shit way possible, at 1:30, and just didn't do anything. I just immediately started watching ESL, and just watching competitive Counter-Strike, and then I was like, I need to eat. The thing is, the killer is last night at 3 a.m. I was like, fuck, I'm hungry, and then I remembered that I don't actually have breakfast food, so I woke up at 10 and was like so depressed that I wouldn't get any breakfast food, I just turned my alarm off and went back to sleep. And then I got up at 1:30 and I was like, it's lunchtime. So then I had to go grocery shopping, but I didn't until after I watched a couple of matches. And I was like, fuck, I actually do need to eat something. So then I went and grocery shopping. I'm basically just... Yeah, no, it... Oh, God, I feel just gross telling... I really don't care, but...
I mean, my entire like summer living here in Macomb. I had class at 1, so I'd wake up at 12 to go to class, and then I'd sleep, or I'd go to bed at like at least 4 in the morning generally.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I stayed up late, but
a friend of mine actually brought this up to me. A friend of his had an interesting sleep schedule, where when he was in high school, he changed his sleeping schedule so that like school for him would be like at night. Like the equivalent of night. It's like he would go to sleep after he was done with like high school, and he'd wake up at like what, I don't know, 10 at night, and then just be up during the night, and then go to school and sleep.
And then
so
sleep.
Basically, he never did anything with anybody.
Exactly.
That sounds awful.
It's
You just sleep
interesting.
the day.
I don't know. That'd be weird.
I
What if
wouldn't
it's like
do
a
it.
weekend? You wake up at 10 p.m. It's like, all right, time to go.
That's
I mean, I
the
guess
perfect
that's
time
true.
for
Hang out.
party time.
It's like that.
That is, I guess, true. I don't know. I've seen a couple proposed alternate sleep schedules, like one where you basically like every 4 hours, or it's like every couple of hours you just take like an hour long. I forget if it's an hour long or a half hour long
Like
nap.
a Kramer sleep schedule?
Einstein did it, yeah.
Yeah, so is it Einstein?
I thought it was Einstein.
I don't know. It's
Da Vinci or
I feel like it's
something?
more theoretical. And then I also saw
Well,
this
Kramer
one.
does it on Seinfeld, so...
Yes, he does. So I know
Oh,
worked
well.
for him.
There's also there's this sleep schedule I think on XKCD, which is a webcomic about basically math and all sorts of good, funny computer stuff. But he proposes a sleep schedule where basically he like syncs it up to be like social on the weekends and like still have an 8-hour workday or 9-hour workday or whatever, and like basically he just like planned it so that you sleep at weird hours, but like you can still go to work, and then on the weekends you're ready to party until like 3 or 4, and like balances work and social. I don't know. It was weird, but yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe I'll reset my sleep schedule.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta figure out something for my next school year. I class at 8, and then I work till like 1 in the morning. So I feel like I'm gonna be sleeping like during the day somehow. I'm just gonna fit time.
During class.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Or at work.
Yeah, I really can't at work, unfortunately.
Nah, you're fine.
Dude, I've
Just start
fallen
changing light
asleep.
bulbs.
And, yeah, right.
Speaking of which, we needed a lamper today to replace some lights in my office. So thought I'd throw that
Should've
out.
called
Needed
me
a
out.
lamper.
Yeah.
You should have called him in emergency.
All right, well, that's all we got today for today's BoBCast podcast. Again, this is episode 5. We'll see you again next week. I don't know if we're actually going to do Wednesday, because I know we still have to discuss that with the school schedules and all that. So we'll figure that out. We'll post some promo on this page, in the BoBCast page. So thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Eh.
Nah.
Nailed it.
Fantastic. That went pretty well.
Trying to practice my jet.
You're
flying.
jetting.
I was looking at videos.
Oh god, on how to use the ground bomb,
No, just how to fly a jet like a not shitty person.
and not just fuck up. I guess that's fair.
I found this guy on YouTube, and he's actually really
A
good.
PCB.
He's a bro. He actually has really good videos, so I subbed to him.
Oh man.
He's got like 2 million subscribers.
Whoa. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually go eat dinner.
You
Yeah,
suck.
I need to head out.
Wow. I mean, I'll be
What?
back on like that fuck boy.
Wow.
What you doing, Connor?
Yeah. What could you
Gonna-
possibly be doing?
Drink beers.
That's what I was gonna do.
And you can't do that on
By
stream.
means.
Well, I mean, the only reason I didn't drink beers while on stream was because I would have had to get up then. And, you know, that's a pain in my ass. But yeah, no. But look, we're